Okay, so the government had Jellyroll on to talk about fentanyl. It's like 3 hours long. Unfortunately, I listened to that. I'll sum it up for you so you don't have to. Okay, so I knew exactly what's going to happen, especially the first half. It starts off talking about sanctioning Mexico and China. Okay, that didn't fail already. Sanction. Supposedly the Biden administration, the entire freaking government is still buying Russian oil after banning it because they're trying to fucking hoard it in case a war breaks out. They're buying oil from other nations and not using their own. Obvious fucking. They're holding on to it in case something happens. Okay, so let's start off. Point one. They talk about the first person. Talk about stopping people making money off drugs. The irony of the biggest dope dealers in the world. I can just go buy drugs from like 18 places across the street if I get permission from the other 32 places across the street. Two, brings in Jellyroll. This is my obvious observation. Debate others into supporting the conversation. Why else do you bring them on? I mean, Dee Snider had more of an attitude than Jellyroll does. Jellyroll's kind of like sitting here like, oh my god, I'm amongst the gods of the planet. These old people in suits, the government, I mean, serious. I mean, Dee Snider should have came in there with some suicide bombers or something, but he was way more less scared than Jellyroll looked like. Anyways, you can see this from the effect in the comments. Like they're using his name to bring him into the topic because everyone's there. It's like, oh yeah, Jellyroll, we support this. Okay, third person goes on to further blame China and Mexico for everything they do. Whom they once waged the opium war against. Their empire once waged a war with opium. So much to the point. It's called the Opium Wars. No, it's not about Pfizer and Walmart waging a war the prices of the pills they're selling. It was about baiting and jacking up prices and succumbing a population. I mean, drugs don't affect me. I can't even deal with that shit like other people do because I don't know. I don't know what you guys go through, but it's supposedly like the war had a lot involved in that, and definitely at the very least it had to do with like what I have now. Like you have to spend hundreds of dollars a month if you just barely even touch the stuff, and then you're fucking no one going nowhere. Can't even afford a fucking a pair of shoes to walk and tell someone things are fucked up. Okay, so did I say 3 hours? 3 goes on to further blame China and Mexico. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they know more than they want to say. That's what I meant to end that with. Something's about to happen here. But I didn't know that. Then goes on, 4. Then goes on to slightly mention the concentration camps who sell their drugs, aka the mental health wannabe doctors. Because if you got a problem with drugs, they have drugs to sell you for like 10 times the price. And they have guns to put to your head to force you to fucking spend fucking years of your life paying for that. 5, the 5th person, continually referencing shutting down borders. This whole time, it's talking points. There's 3 talking points here. China and Mexico are evil races, and they're trying to kill us, shut down the borders, and protect us from them. excluding, they have been stealing Mexico lands and all others globally. But they've been stealing some Mexico lands recently. Texas has. And this is one of their tricks. They're going to be like, oh, Texas did that. If anyone even gets to that point of questioning that, they'll be like, oh, Texas did that. No, no. Texas didn't invade lands that they didn't know the borders of and thought could have been Mexican without Biden allowing it to happen. Okay? That's a Trump thing, but that happened under Biden's watch. Sixth person. We have the home field. This dude is like the nerd. We have the home field advantage on money laundering. He said those words. That's a quote. He's talking about USA and everything going on in the world. We have the home field advantage on money laundering. Okay? And if you don't understand what that means, well, I don't know. Then he talks of cryptocurrency. Obviously, we're just like 1/3 of the way into this, and they're talking about controlling digital currency, and he's talking about bringing it in so it's acceptable and we control it. One world currency, digital currency, okay? This dude right here is the instigator in everything. Might want to say some of the police in here are just dumbass workers. For them, I mean, you can look at people and tell who they are. God didn't say you can't judge a book by its cover. God wrote books. When you write a book, when you make an album, you make a cover for it. You don't make unless I'm trying to fool you and play games with your heads. I don't make an album like Taylor Swift. It's talking about let's make love with my butt in the air, and then put a picture of like someone with a machete coming down into your rear while you're down on all fours, right? Or the opposite. I don't make a song saying machete into the machete feels so good, and then have a song with a girl shaking, have a picture of a girl shaking a butt, getting ready to get penetrated. Okay. 7, talks about surveilling encrypted apps. As if someone here doesn't already control everything, and the West isn't entirely isolated. Okay, so in the 80s, you couldn't even see news from other cities in USA. And from what I'm gathering, I've never seen anything outside the West on the internet, even though they have bots or something there to convince you of that. I don't think so. China themselves have their own internet, so if you thought you've seen that, you know you're wrong now, because that's the facts. Yeah, they're surveilling encrypted apps. Oh man, I don't even want to get into discussions about what I watch happen in this world after I dealt with the blacknet. And so I watched entire fucking crackdowns across the nation occur. I'm running for president, okay? I watched the world's largest net get shut down within a couple weeks after me operating with it, and they sent me a letter asking if I want my stuff and stuff. So I don't know, my stuff? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, you mean those pills I bought legally from United Kingdom, Britain, the UK? That you were trying to milk $50,000 out of me for a lesser version of it, and I was just trying to get a year's supply instead of going to you for every day, every month. Pay you $10,000 every month for garbage. Probably would have lasted me a lot longer the way I used to control stuff. But I'm crippled. I'm in pain. I'm a martial artist. I punch metal and shit. So, I mean, I do what the fuck I want, really. That's the final thing. But I only get into certain things generally, I'm on drugs because the government and the humans have forced me on them. Like, so, who knows what my life would have been without them? We'll never know because it's never happened. I was a toddler when this shit started, when they started feeding me amphetamines, you little methamphetamine bullshits. And I probably need it, but now you take it from me and you want me to spend fucking $10,000 fucking a month for it. I'm not gonna be a slave. I'll fucking take out your family and take their money to pay for it, but I'm not gonna be a slave to pay for that shit. I'll tell you that. Fucking okay. So the eighth person comes in. We need to move at a faster pace to curb halt the problem with fentanyl. To curb the problem they caused by running a monopoly on drugs, on less dangerous opiates like opium, heroin, oxycontin. People were into oxy, and a few people died. You know what? Fat people die all the time. Everyone dies, supposedly, right? I mean, you really can't trust these clone motherfuckers. How did they weren't even born? How did they fucking die? They're lying about that shit, aren't they? How do they go from one body to the other if it's like the same fucking thing? Anyways, blah blah blah. You gotta curb the problem that you're creating. Why did you bomb the Middle fucking East to burn down the opium plants and then sell a much more dangerous shit, and then use that to sell a much more poisonous shit that's frying everyone's fucking minds and going to make them fucking mentally incompetent, or so you thought, because everything has something else going on, doesn't it? Number 9, we can't do too much to stop China or Mexico because the previous people were talking about telling the Chinese and the Mexican what to do. Yo, if anyone around me I know wants to suggest that Chinese or Mexican people need to be told what to do, I would wage war against them. It's that simple. Like, I don't put up with that shit. So this person is changing it. We can't do it. They're all talking about this so far. Jellyroll's kind of just sitting there acting stupid and stuff. To be honest, yeah, I'm gonna tell you about Jellyroll. I'll be honest. He's saying certain words too that he tried to possibly say something else. But anyways, yeah, they need to halt the problem that they caused. Yeah. Okay. So to do that, they bombed the Middle East and burnt down their opium plants. But why did they cause the problem when snake oil supposedly used to be opiates and that was sold for like 100 years, and no one was like, oh my god, every time they take snake oil they're dying. Back then snake oil was probably a legit drug and it wasn't sold by fucking scrubs or governments and shadow governments trying to kill you. 9 or 10. Let's target dealers. Okay. We got like 30 places across the street. Some hospitals, some mental health centers, some pharmacies. Oh, they got the shittiest drug out here. Fucking tramadol's one of them. But yeah, I mean, what's that other stuff they give everyone nowadays? Not fentanyl, but Suboxone. Yeah, well, shut them down. Get rid of them. Put them all in prison for life. For every count of fucking drugs they sold, put all those pharmacists and doctors in fucking jail for 2 days. Yeah. Life. 10 or 11. Back to crypto, which their people created and advertised. You gotta realize that. The people telling you to go to crypto, if you haven't figured out, are the people you go to church to worship, or satanic church, or atheist church, or probably pagan church. I mean, well, wait, it's a mosquito stings you and sucks its blood. So if a human tells you about a religion and you need to give all your money to them, it's probably the same species of insect, and it is in almost every case. I don't think there's a case I haven't seen where there isn't. So that's that. There we go. 12. Jellyroll goes to perform at the rehab center. The dope mob bosses. The people poisoning people. And making sure that they can manipulate. What they do is they take people and they force them on the government dole. And then they send them to these rehab places, or they have them sign a contract, and then the government takes like $50,000 from you to rehab them for like 2-3 months. Okay, it don't cost $50,000 for that. And what they do is they drug them with new drugs that they continue to sell them for like $1,000 to $10,000 a month. Okay, so that's so great. You get to go perform at people locked in concentration camps being drugged by the government. I mean, he really does seem ignorant, the whole thing, but unfortunately he looks like the other people, and I've been fooled by these people one too many times. I've been fooled by the humans. I mean, humans came out in 2020, said we're all in this together, so I realized, like, yeah, better recant that saying, but that was a long time ago they had the chance to do that, and they didn't. 13. Exposing the active roles of China and Mexican governments. Oh my God. China and Mexican governments are helping sell drugs in the USA. You know what? Only the USA government and the hospitals and the doctors with their satanic Christian atheist gang signs all over them, and their pedophilia need to sell drugs here. And yes, I actually agree with that, because USA is the pedophile home base. They're the only people who mutilate and sacrifice other male children's genitals for their Jewish masters. We need to separate them from the rest of the world, because they are the most extreme. The others are following them still, so they can follow afterwards. But for now, we can point out just how extreme their cults go, their people go for their delusions. Anyways, exposing the active roles of China and Mexican governments. What he probably meant is Africa and the Middle East too, because USA just got done exterminating the Middle East, and part of that, besides building their motherland so they can run to when USA is collapsed, Israel, part of that is them burning down the opiate crops in the Middle East, because USA people can't make a bunch of money. Doctors and government can't make a bunch of money off selling Suboxone or Oxycontin or hydrocodone or anything. If the Middle East naturally grows opium crops, and that's the only real antidepressant in the world. They have a ton of shit. And so they send their soldiers over there to kill them and burn down their plants. And then UK starts planting opium crops after that. It's called terrorist drug fucking cartels. And also called the USA government. And, well, the USA citizens blame the government for everything they do. Never seen a government person that I know of. I mean, who's poisoning my shit? Probably people you go to church to worship every Sunday and stuff. Those are people probably stalking and terrorizing me my whole life, separating me from another human race, right? Because it's an alien demon race. But, I mean, well, hopefully the dominoes fall. Fucking, other than that, total waste of my life. I mean, it has been. It's been an entire waste so far. Because, I mean, a lot of these rat-faced demons, just since my birth, what did they do? Kidnap me and shit when I was young or something? They definitely started coming in when I was like 13 or 14 or 15. Okay, 14. Giving law enforcement the tools to go against bad guys selling drugs to protect the good guys selling them and mutilating all the newborn males' genitals. Well, that's a cop. One of the people over there protecting the hospital who is in charge of $1 billion a day fucking drug industry and mutilating and sacrificing every male genitals for our precious Jewish overlords. Who the humans seem to have no ability to fucking think past. Yeah. Go against the bad guys. I mean, he didn't say the bad guy. I don't think so. Actually, I don't know. He might have said that, but he probably said go against the people selling drugs. Because I kind of have my own words. I mostly did know how to write, but yeah, so Ace in here guarding a place that's selling drugs and jacking up the prices and then guarding the prisons, locking up anyone else who sells them for cheaper. And he needs more money. Good. Keep printing money. The whole world's fucking, hopefully, yeah, I mean, the whole world's controlled by them. Like, you guys are all fucking devils. Fucking, we'll fucking see. It either ends, I was a slave, I mean, I've been a slave most of my life. How's it going to end any differently? Like, what, I'm going to wake up and have 2 seconds I'm not a slave? The piece of shit fucking world this is, dude. It must be all about fucking getting rid of them. I mean, there's no other option. Fuck, dude. Damn pedophiles talking about selling drugs. Bad people selling damn pedophile dope dealers talking about at least China don't fucking molest all their fucking children like every single fucking American does and shit. At least China don't do that. They said Mexico. Mexico don't do that. It's America. It's exclusively an Abrahamic. It's the people who keep getting chased out of every fucking nation for how they act and having to go and kill some little people who live in huts and shit with the technology they must have stole from someone. Technically, they think they're space aliens and shit. And does explain how the other humans have no thoughts and can't own anything and refuse to do any work or have any thoughts to be able to make them own anything. But at the same time, they are very vicious people. And the pale-skinned, dark-haired, dark-eyed people I meet, very vicious, and they are in your life to prevent you from communicating or moving forward. 15. They are worried about death to their communities. Fentanyl's killing the community. Oh my God. Unless they are sent to destabilize other nations, loot them, and secure their global drug trade monopoly. It's only their communities. And then, unless it's black people, but nowadays they got those people convinced that they're on their side. And, well, I think it's too little too late, to be honest. I don't think the entire world is convinced of that. Even though we did see a shift in 2020 where their little parasites ran shit and taught black people that their lives matter and helped them burn down cities and funded all that shit. Fucking they're working for them. They're working with the same people you work for, so don't worry about it. You're on the same side as long as fucking they definitely change that real fast. Fucking maybe it's someone in force, but anyway, 16, Miss Warren, aka Einstein, the special overprivileged Nazi race who enslaves all humans and doesn't allow us to go anywhere or do anything, and no one allowed to own anything or have anything in most nations. It's all one race, one Nazi people to talk. Like Zelensky, he's the leader of the Nazis, and he's an Israeli, and, well, that's, here it is. Anyway, she thinks it's surprising drug manufacturers invest profits in their corporations. So she's bringing up Mexico again. She's like, the Mexicans are making money off fentanyl and then selling it and then investing it back in it. Oh, what about all the Jewish fucking drug corporations, Pfizer? I don't care who they are, really. I'm sure they work with you because no one's allowed to live or exist or breathe air unless you allow them to. So they are you. You're going to take the blame for it all. And as long as it's not Fiverr who placed her in government. And you know, she's funded by Pfizer, right? That drug trade monopoly Warren. That's all that Pimbo could say. I mean, literally, I think they bring those tits on just because there's tits, and probably like some idiot old man is like, oh my god, those tits are so saggy, they're touching her toes. Like, what's so sexy? I could put some honey on her toes and then lick them off her tits. You never know what's going through these sick bastard humans' heads. But you know, I'm probably right that that's going through some of their heads. Mr. Vance, 17, he talks of how they have to outlaw a new drug every 10 years. And he moves to a new test kit beyond fentanyl. And he leaves out the Suboxone his people are selling. Some new shit no one's heard of. He actually brings up the reverse opium war, like trying to blame China for poisoning Americans as if they're too stupid to do anything on their own. And China's out in the streets selling opiums, which is weird because that's a no-no. But I think I've seen this dude before. They just throw him in here to do this. Like like everyone in USA are cowards, scared to say anything they feel about China. They hate Asians. They attack them 24/7, but they don't say China did evil shit. They like, China eats bats, gotta kill them. China eats cats, gotta kill them. No one, you like cats, don't you? Gotta kill them. So I think the second time. This is like 6 years ago, so they're not gonna kill him. He's on board with them. Exactly. He's talking about their drugs and moving on. He's talking about the other people's drugs they sell and moving on to a new drug unknown people sell and avoiding the drugs his people sell. So there we go. His drugs aren't just drugs. They kill people's minds, which is cool how these things act. They give you certain drugs and it totally fucks up their plan. Like they give people drugs to kill their emotions. So whatever this, and then they have no emotions, and then when they realize that you and your children and your parents are the same parasitic poisonous bloodline, they're not going to feel emotions towards solving the problem. I think that's like cool how a lot of shit like surfaces. Like they have a lot of shit they think they're going to do, and then that like sanctioning Russia. They're talking about sanctioning Mexico and China. Well, how Russia is stronger with the entire world, and USA is trash, and it was already going trash. It was already trash. It was just, they were using war. They were killing everyone on the planet to prop up their fake currency. And now that they've sanctioned them, they can't even get half the shit they want on the planet. Go ahead and sanction China. It's not like these people here understand how to use a computer. Anyways, you don't need computers. Computers are made by thinking happy thoughts and putting Play-Doh and butter together. I'm sure they are. 18, the failed border policies. You can see this has been pushed into every topic as a talking point. We're almost at the end here. And this whole thing was about hating Asians and hating Mexicans. 19, the cartels and China are selling lace stuff and pressed pills that are killing people. Now, China and Mexicans, the cartels, if anything, they have pure stuff because it's not worth the money to ship a bag of baking soda across the nation. Okay? The only people who've ever robbed me is shit. I mean, a couple cheap Chinese items I ordered, but outside, never been any Chinese or Mexicans selling me garbage and stuff. Maybe in Mexico, their people like treated me like the trash that they know that they think I am because I come from trash fucking nations and shit like USA. And they tried to fucking scam me with some shit, but no, that stuff is real and pure. It's people in USA who can't do math and are they're scumbags and enslaving and terrorizing and robbing the entire planet, including themselves. They're mixing the drugs with poisons and improperly because they're too stupid to fucking figure out math, so they don't know how to measure out chemicals properly. I don't have that problem myself, but apparently drug dealers in USA selling to thousands of people fucking can't take 10 seconds to fucking learn how to do it. Yeah, they're not China. This is all about, this is typical USA, just kill everyone and steal everything. And it's like, I mean, they are so mentally ill right now that they don't realize that they can't even add up the fact that their home bases, their capital in Israel, and their home base in Ukraine, their new land grabbing spot, are being destroyed, and they're losing land. They're invading Mexican lands and taking Mexican lands from them because they see them as little monkeys in tents, like natives on a field in a Sacagawea tent, and they can just still kill them. And something in their hyena brain says they can just keep attacking these people. And I mean, you can just see the fear over the last 4 decades. They're scared to say anything about China. Anything. This one dude is like some sort of, I don't know, he's been there 4 years, so clearly he's one of them and stuff because he's not dead yet. Or they haven't told him to shut up, but no, USA is selling trash. USA sells these trash USB cables that I'd buy this nice stuff that's so high quality, never seen nothing, like shiny silver metals with glow-in-the-dark eyes on the USB cable, and they don't break. And I'm just using them and jerking them around all day, and buy something from USA, it's trash. Can I buy a shirt from USA? Hell no. It's made to fit the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Men's clothing here, probably women's too, but I don't know. I can actually fit some of their clothing, which probably means it's sold for fat women if I can fit it. But and their clothing is trash here too. Like, unless you want to pay $10,000 for an outfit and stuff, and if you buy designer stuff, yeah, from Jeffrey Epstein, the dude who runs the designer clothing that everyone buys from, Victoria's Secrets, Express, all that. Yeah, you guys are pedophiles buying that shit. That's what the word pink means. It means Jeffrey Epstein. It does mean whore. We already knew that, but now you know. Literal. The pimps fucking made that. That's what they're selling here in the USA, and they're all prostitutes now. They don't even have a service industry. I've seen someone trying to sell cables, audio cables online for like $85 in USA. They're like, it's so quality, and it just looks so basic and generic too. It's like, oh, so I can either go buy some from the store for $12 that doesn't work. I can buy something from you that looks generic and it's $85 and it does work, or I can buy something from China that's $5 and makes your tacky fucking 1200 living ass looks just like non-existent and ancient. Their drugs, comparable to their products, far superior in price and fucking value. There is no value in an American product for the most part. Unless you're a retard getting ripped the fuck off. By Jeffrey Epstein's people. You gotta realize they literally run the fucking corporations. YouTube, Facebook, Victoria's Secrets. Yeah, there you go. That's all you know by name, ain't it? Okay, so, and now I guess the first half was Republican talking points. Now we're going to helping communities. I'm just asking, where is Sanders? Like, he's fucking probably passed out on a cocaine overdose with fucking Hunter or something. I mean, whatever, it's right to do that. 21. Someone said, is the drug war a failure? I mean, I'm summarizing that, but it's basically, it's all like, it's mostly like telling you to hate Asians and Mexicans, and that'd be great. Like, they need to success to actually stop buying stuff from China. You know, like their resources and all that shit. They're still buying like oil right now from Russia. Stop it. Stop being a little lying bitch. What we need to do is put lying bitches down, fucking, and put them in their own continent, Antarctica. Give them like $5 or whatever, and a couple canned goods, and see how well a nation of people who are lying deceivers do. Fucking, I don't even give a shit about seeing. They just fucking wish them well. Give them their canned goods. Fucking kick them off the boat. Fucking, I don't know, give them some bear spray, because there could be some polar bears up there or some shit. But, yeah, bro, I'm tired of dealing with all these problems on this fucking planet these humans are fucking causing and shit. Like, you know what the link between all those fucking problems are? Humans. Fucking. So you gotta get to the root of the fucking problem, and then we find out there's clones amongst us. There's not actually many humans here, are there? There's some sort of aliens, different species. There's supposedly some gods here, and then some demons, and entire clones you can just invent with your mind, like there's robots walking around that can be programmed to whatever you ask for, or something like that. I think at the end of the day, dealing with that's the problem. Not talking about that dumbass bullshit. I mean, it's the same thing. It just, I mean, dude, like, why are they? They're probably working with Russia to kill off the Ukrainians, right? Because I mean, this nation is the parasites. I traveled and I've seen a bunch of them. Like they're really all for it. Like, this is how this group works. Look at their religions. Their religions are all about be our slave or die. And then they kill you and they tell you, worship us or we're going to kill you like we did your parents. So like a large portion of the world is against that. And then, you know, China doesn't allow their little racial supremacist religions. They don't like that either, but not like I really trust them. But you really got to do whatever it takes to fight off these fuckers and shit. I could see, like, if they were actually using the government to survey the people and make sure these other people weren't walking amongst them, then that's like a good use of a surveillance state. But we don't really know what's going on in China, because I live in this Nazi nation, this racial supremacist nation that only allows the Abrahamics to flourish, and only their viewpoint can be seen because it's called morale. Like, supposedly they have like humans have this basic code, and morale's one thing. You gotta tell them everything's good and they're gonna win the war and they're gonna win it. Just like you told them everything's good and they're gonna win the sanctions against Russia, and then they lose everything and now they have to break all their other sanctions and buy oil from Russia. And they're talking about fucking sanctioning China, and they can't do that because no one here is intelligent enough to make anything. I mean, granted, all they have to do is go out there and make it, and everyone is willing to buy garbage. Like, They're not smart enough to fucking make it. They're not smart enough to know it's garbage. They'll gladly buy it as long as they don't know it. Like, did I even know that super high quality cables for my electronics with metal ends, dragons and snakes and glowing eyes and existed? No, not if I shopped in USA. I wouldn't even know. For 40 years I didn't. For 40 years I didn't know good leather quality bags existed that weren't for homosexuals because they didn't sell that in USA. And if they did, it was like $300 instead of $20 to $40 and stuff. Because I don't know. What are they tailoring things to siphon money from people who have brains and thoughts? Probably because they're targeting us and drugging us and stuff and isolating us from the other races upon this planet. So yeah, they're just trying to kill those people off. I wouldn't doubt you get put on a kill list if you buy something that is quality and works right. Because I got put on a kill list for a kid for fucking winning awards from the president. So how did they find out to start coming into my life a few years after that? I'm sure that's why. Maybe they go the same list. You buy something that's high quality and they're like, oh, you're trash. Like my father, work with him. It's like, if he's smart enough to get up in here with us, then we should probably kill him because he's not one of us if he wasn't, right? But, yeah. Anyways, another wasted moment of time in life that I'm forced to live through by terrorists who force me to live amongst them and trying to force the entire world into a whole bunch of shit. It's been like 44 years now. These terrorist USA humans fucking have been forcing me here to put up their shit, to be their, to thinking I'm going to be their slave. I don't even get what they think they're getting at. I mean, literally, it's like, I think it's got something to do with them calling me God, because they know as long as they keep me distracted and destroy my life and make it go nowhere, then their people are fucking safe from me and shit.